Hi guys and welcome to Whiskey Geek. I'm Ben. Now my Islay trip is just over 2 weeks away and I had a load of content that I was planning to try and record before then, and I'm a fair bit behind. So I've got a lot to cram in today, but I'm kicking off with some Laphroaig. In 1815, Donald and Alexander Johnston brothers established the Laphroaig Distillery, sat on the southern coast of Islay. It's one of the big three iconic Islay malts, just to the west of Lagavulin and Ardbeg. Again, the name has been derived from local geography, although it's not entirely clear what. The best translation seems to be Hollow of Broadbay. Laphroaig is owned by Beam Suntory, which is the world's third largest producer of distilled beverages. They also own Bowmore, Auchentoshan, Ardmore, Yamazaki, Hibiki, Hakushu, and a bunch of different bourbons as well. Now Laphroaig is known for having a very distinct profile. They're proud of this in-your-face style, and their marketing kind of hinges on this Marmite approach. And Laphroaig do something fairly similar with this little tagline of dividing opinion since 1815. And down here you've got the most richly flavoured of all Scotch whiskies. And through their website, Friends of Laphroaig, they even take opinions from their customers, and their favourites of which they'll print on the tin. This one says, "It's like going on a date with a goddess of smoke and medicine," and that's by Sandy Scott. So this is a bold whiskey and they're not hiding it. Now when you buy a bottle of Laphroaig, you normally get one of these little pamphlets, and in the pamphlet is a code that you can take onto their website to claim a leasehold of a foot square of peat bog, which is quite cool. If you ever make it to the distillery, you can then claim your rent of 1 dram per year. It's a little thing, but it's a nice little touch. Laphroaig have 3 wash stills and 4 spirit stills, and they use these to achieve a maximum capacity of 2.6 million litres of spirit per year, which puts them as the second largest producer on Islay. I'm starting off here with the 10-year-old, which is Laphroaig's core expression. Now this bottle is the 40%, but there is a 43% version, which I can't seem to find, and there is also a cask strength version, which seems to be cheap as chips in the States, but damn near impossible to find over here. A little bit jealous. There's a reason that I've poured 2 glasses and I'm leaving one uncovered. I didn't open this bottle that long ago. It hasn't had a couple of months to sit and characterise and disperse, but as I've worked my way down, I have noticed that it's been improving. So what I'm trying to do here is to give it some time to just disperse and kind of expedite that characterization. So I've got tasting notes from when I first opened the bottle. I've got a blank sheet to do tasting notes today, and then I want to compare it to one that's maybe characterized a little bit more with an open vessel. So I'm going to leave this one to one side, and once I've done the tasting notes I'll do a little comparison, see how much of a difference there is, and then whatever's left I'm going to use for something a little bit interesting. I'm going to run out of these things if I'm not careful. So the colour is quite a nice shade of gold. It's about a shade 7, ice wine. So it's like an initial wave of briny, resinous, woody high note. The woody tone begins to develop into like a tobacco smoke. Medicinal notes coming in. The medicinal note isn't that punchy compared to the Laphroaigs that I normally drink. It's just kind of a bit of a like solvent tone, like it's hand sanitizer or a sterile wipe or something. Now that it's been given a chance to just breathe and disperse, it's rounding off on a soft peat. It's very earthy, there's like a boggy smoke. It's a little grainy, like a whole grain loaf. There's a kind of musty sawdust or dry grass in there as well. It's quite a simple, straightforward nose. Initially, again, resinous, quite green. There was something vegetal in there. Then those medicinal notes bubble up, becomes very peaty, earthy, rounded. And then there's like a roasted peanut tone that kind of mellows out and lingers around. Woody oaky flavour. This really seems to be opening and giving me more than the rest of the bottle has so far. It'd be interesting to see if I get anything else from the open vessel. It's It's got quite a cereally core, and there's those solventy, metallic, medicinal notes still playing around. It's quite gentle, there's not much alcohol prickle at all. In fact, the body almost comes across a little bit creamy. In fact, it's that creamy body that really kind of lingers on the finish. There's musty wood again. There's a gentle pepper that kind of accumulates as you're sipping it, but it remains really pleasant throughout. A wave of smoky peat and metallic tones return, and they're what kind of linger on. I think all of those woody tones and the kind of resinous high note were absent in the first third of the bottle. It's really begun to open up quite nicely. It's certainly given you more to explore. So I think that's the most I've appreciated that 10-year-old so far. But now I'm going to see if this that's been sat open for a while gives me anything else. It's not the easiest whiskey to cleanse your palate after. So this has probably been sat for 20 minutes now. Way more resinous. Compared to that, the smoke and the peat have just completely dispersed. They're almost gone. It's woody and soft, you know, it's more like a cigar box. More prominent solvent prickle. It's not really gone away that I prefer. It's lost a lot of what makes Laphroaig to me. It's kind of lost that initial excitement, the developing flavours. It's just kind of softened and mellowed out. It feels dull in comparison. But now it's time to do probably my favourite thing to do with this whiskey. A good vanilla ice cream and a smoky whiskey draws a really nice comparison. It's well worth giving a try, although don't use this much whiskey. So I've given the Laphroaig 10 a rating of 76 out of 100. It's really rather simple, and as an introduction to Laphroaig it kind of makes sense, but I don't think it offers enough to compete with the Ardbeg 10 or the Lagavulin 16 as a core expression. It's just a little bit simpler, lacking those complexities and the nuances that make the others great. The other thing that niggles in the back of my mind is that this doesn't cost that much less than the Laphroaig Quarter Cask, and I absolutely love the Quarter Cask. It just offers so much more, so much bolder, so much more complexity. For me, it's a no-brainer which one to buy. So cheers for watching, guys, and joining me for another little whiskey review. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please chuck a like and a comment below, and consider subscribing for more whiskey antics. Cheers!